Hello and welcome. Namaste. It is truly a great honor and a privilege to welcome and introduce to you Rotary International President elect Mr. Shekhar Mehta. Shekhar Mehta is only the fourth Indian in 116 years to be nominated as the President of Rotary International for the year 2021-22. Shekhar Mehta was born in 1959 in Kolkata, India. A keen academician, he graduated from St. Xavier's College and has the unique combination of Masters in Commerce, a qualified chartered accountant, cost accountant, and company secretary. He heads the Skyline Group engaged in real estate development in different parts of India, including the largest group housing in the state of Rajasthan. He is a member of many professional, cultural, and charitable organizations. Shekhar Mehta joined Rotary in 1985. He's a member of Rotary Calcutta Mahanagar. He served as district governor in 1999 2000 and was elevated to the board of directors of Rotary International for 2011 2013. While serving as Rotary International Director, he helped Rotary add two countries to its fold, Bhutan and Maldives. Keenly dedicated to service, Shekhar Mehta has led many major service initiatives in India and South Asia, from constructing 500 homes for tsunami survivors at Andaman and Nicobar Islands and starting the shelter kit program in India to creating Saving Little Hearts, a pediatric heart surgery program, and conceptualizing Teach, a nationwide literacy program in India. Shekhar Mehta is married to Rashi Mehta. She is a social worker and is a stage artist, having performed in socially relevant plays across India. They have a son, Chirag, married to Geeta, a daughter, Geeta, and a grandson, Veer. His guiding mantra in life is service is the rent that we pay for the space we occupy on this earth. Shekhar Mehta is an inspiration to one and all, a motivating speaker who has dedicated his life for the service of others, and more importantly, a wonderful human being. Ladies and gentlemen, let's extend a very warm welcome to our Rotary International President elect, Mr. Shekhar Mehta. Thank you.
Hello, everyone, and a very good morning to each and every one of you from a good evening in Kolkata. It's absolutely a delight for me to be with 262 of you, although I can't see even one of you. But that's what the world is today. I would love to be with all of you, and I'm sure soon we will be able to do that when I'll be able to meet each and every one of you, shake hands with you, maybe give a warm hug, have a cup of coffee, chat with you. But that's for another day. Today, virtual is the word. My dear changemaker governors and changemaker presidents, the forthcoming 16 months are going to be one of the best months that you will have in your life. 30 years back, I was elected to be the president of my club, and I still recall it as one of the best years of my life. What a great opportunity it was to be able to hands-on serve people and change lives. Not from today, but since then itself. It'll be your opportunity not only to be able to do that, but also inspire other members of your club. Very rarely after being a president will you get an opportunity of doing both, serving hands-on and inspiring others to be able to do. Very recently, the March magazine of Rotary, it asked a question to me, what would you prefer, president of a club or president of Rotary International? My answer was to be with each and every one of you, the presidents. I said I would prefer to be the president of my club rather than just be the president of Rotary International. So that's how important I think this job is. This is your opportunity to be able to make a difference in the world. One at a time, a club at a time, but all under your leadership. Sorry. So what is it that we wish to achieve? Well, we want to grow more and do more. Grow more as in more clubs, more members, and do more as in bigger, better, bolder projects. Let's take up grow more. Well, this is something that I've been thinking. 20 years back, when I was chosen to be the district governor, the membership of Rotary was at 1.2 million. 10 years later, when I was nominated to be on the board of directors of Rotary, the membership was still at 1.2 million. Another 10 years later, I got nominated to be the president of Rotary. The membership was still at 1.2 million. I think we need to change this. Can the 1.2 million of us not try to change it? And change it by 30th June 2022. So you may say, what's not been possible for last 16 years? How is it that we'll change in 16 months? Well, I see the answer in the vaccine itself. It took 23 years to develop the vaccine for polio. It took 5 years to develop the vaccine for Ebola. But it took just 9 months to develop the vaccine for COVID. What took 23 years then took only 9 months now. I think we can all do the same thing with the membership in Rotary. We can change its direction. Right now it's going this way. How about taking it this way? It's possible. And it's possible between just all of us. All we need to do is just each one bring one. Not a difficult task. I've been to so many, hundreds of Zoom meetings, and everywhere I've asked this question, and the response has just been outstanding. I've asked how many of you by 30th June 2022 will be able to get just one member to Rotary. Although I can't see you, 268 of you, but how about doing a hand raise and saying, yes, I will. I commit on 1st July, I will do my bit. I will get one member into Rotary, and you'll have 16 months from now to get just one member into Rotary. Even though I cannot see your hands, but how about doing a hand raise? Somebody could take those pictures. I have hundreds and hundreds of pictures from across the world, from America to South America, Africa, Asia, Japan, Australia, Europe, India. Everywhere the response has been. Whenever I ask this question to people to raise their hands, I've seen 90% of the people raise their hands. I don't know what the count is right now. Somebody who's seeing it would know. But friends, if all of us did that, just to get one member by 30th June 2022, I can assure you we will cross the magic figure of 1.3 million. And once we do that, we'll get the taste of success as far as membership is concerned. Ever since I joined Rotary, I've seen we've never ever failed in our targets for Rotary Foundation. And yet we have never ever achieved the targets for membership. I tried to find what could have been the reason. Probably it's the follow-up. If I committed to make a contribution of $50,000, there would be many people who would be asking me very politely, when would I be able to make a contribution? But if I said I'll be able to get 10 members, I wonder how many people would be following up with me. So my request to every president is, just as I asked you, please raise a hand and say, who amongst you is going to get a member? May I request you to go back to your clubs and ask the same question. And you'll be surprised at the positive response you're going to get. If those are converted into members, and they can, if only you follow up with them. When I raise a hand, I may forget over a period of time. But if somebody reminds me politely, I may still remember and do that. So friends, let's do that. It's not difficult. Each one, bring one. And even as we do that, let's get younger members. Let's get more women into Rotary. After all, a Rotary club needs to be diverse. And what better diversity? First with gender, second with age, religion, sexual orientation, different types, ethnic groups. Let's make our Rotary club a mirror image of the society that we are in. Let's also try and see more and more Rotaractors can become Rotarians. Friends, if we do this, we also will try to retain each and every member. And that will come out of engagement. If we can engage our members, we will be able to retain them. And I think if there was ever a time where you could engage members, it is during this pandemic. The one good thing we have understood because of the pandemic is the ability to connect. I don't think we've ever connected so well as we have done during the pandemic. Just this morning, I started my day with a meeting with another pets, and there were quite a few hundred people there. And then I flew off virtually to Manila because there was this pets of Philippines. There were 700 of them. Right now, there are nearly 300 of them. I'm back to America just before attending 2 more meetings, one in India, another one, a multi-country meeting. The next meeting I have is again in Europe. So friends, in one day, that is the possibility of connectivity. At the club level, my own club organized a regular weekly meeting during the pandemic, and 2,400 people attended. If it were in person, in the entire year, we would not have got 2,400 people to our club meeting. That is the power of this virtual world, and this is going to remain. So connectivity is becoming easy, engagement is becoming better, and as soon as we all start meeting in person, I think that will be the best time. Hybrid is what I'll put all my money on. The future world is going to be hybrid. Our meetings can be hybrid, and we should be able to engage all the people who are unable to come. Imagine younger people who are probably working from home suddenly can find out 45 minutes to attend a Rotary weekly meeting and then again get back to work. Or they have young children and they don't have to drive for 20 minutes to get to their Rotary meeting. And they don't need to spend money for meals also. I think it can be a very good proposition for younger people to come. As they come, we're going to retain each and every one of them. So our slogan is, each one bring one and retain all. Another way you could do is, and this is for more for the governors than for the presidents, but if the presidents, you find an area where you think you can start a Rotary club, please do approach your governor. I'm sure you will be able to start at least 2 Rotary clubs, if not more. And flexibility about forming new clubs has become so huge. You can have different types of clubs, not just the traditional clubs, but how about virtual clubs? Just last month, my own district, they started a club with 124 members. It's a virtual club with people from across the world. Then there are these cause-based clubs where people who all want to work for water sanitation programs, they want to work for WASH, so they've come from across the world and they've made a cause-based club. There's another club back home I came to know, exciting concept. They've got a club, the cause is to promote art and culture. So they have painters, musicians, singers, artists, sculptors, all in their club, exciting people to be with. I would love to go to that club meeting and see what their discussion is. And they are people from around the world. So friends, different types of clubs, satellite clubs. Somebody asked me a question a few days back. We are all elderly people in our club. How do we get younger members? I suggested, why not have a satellite club for the younger people? Over a period of time, both groups can meet each other, understand each other, and probably thereafter assimilate. Till then, they are a separate club, but they are your club, part of you, because they are a satellite club. So friends, with all of this, I'm sure our membership will grow. When we grow more, we will be able to do more. Friends, each of us joined Rotary for various reasons. I joined Rotary when I was just 25 years, and I joined just to make friends. It's not for service, not for serving people. Service was the last thing on my mind. I was just 25 years. I didn't even know what it meant to help other people or care for other people. My life was comfortable, and I was comfortable in my life. And then my Rotary Club took me 50 kilometers away from my city into the rural areas. And that's when I understood this world is not the same everywhere. Because these homes that I saw, they were not even They were mud-built homes, thatched roofs with hay there. They did not have toilets in their homes. The water, drinking water they used came from the pond where they themselves bathed. It was unfiltered water. The only school the children there had was under the tree. And this was all 32 years, 33 years back. And if it rained, there were no classes. Too much of sun, no classes. The black charcoal painted wall was the only blackboard those children had ever seen. And I realized this world is divided into two parts. One where there is an abundance, another where there is so much of lack of basics. And then I realized it was my duty as a Rotarian, just as it has been for each and every one of you, to try and reduce this disbalance. And how do we do that? We try to go and sink borewells in an African village because the land is parched there. We sink those borewells, we serve them, and we change their lives. We do heart surgeries for children from across India in my own town, in my city. For years, each of my days started with meeting such children who needed heart surgeries because they would be sitting in my office lounge waiting for me to come to the office. As soon as I came, the first thing I would do is meet these parents. And I tell you, these parents, their income was such that if they saved money over 5 years, only then would they be able to get the surgery of the child done. But the child won't live for 5 years. And that's when Rotary comes in. We get their heart surgeries done. And it changes their lives. Not just of the child who's got the surgery done, but the parents. Imagine their bundle of joy. They waited for 9 months. And when the bundle of joy comes, in a few months' time, the child starts turning blue because it's a blue baby born with a hole in the heart. It pierces a hole in their hearts too. And friends, Rotarians do this every day. I have done it. I'm sure each and every one of you has got an opportunity. Some have got large opportunities. Some may have got smaller ones. It's all about attitude, not size. Gandhi was once traveling on the train. As soon as he got up on the train started moving and one of his slippers fell off. His immediate reaction was to take off the other slipper and throw it where the previous one had fallen. His friend asked, "But why did you do that?" He said, "Someone will come across that one slipper which will be of no use. Let me throw it the other one so that the person may be able to use both slippers." Now, it was a small act of thinking of other people, but I think it's a big attitude. Here was a person who was ready to think of others even before he was thinking of himself. And that's what Rotary allows us to do. My dear presidents-elect, the change makers, this will be your year to be able to change lives of people, one at a time, a community at a time, or even a country at a time. You may say, how a country? So I believe that for an organization which is 116 years old, which has got a footprint in every part of this world, more members on its fold than, more countries on its fold than even the United Nations has, and with a rich legacy of nearly eradicating a disease from the face of Earth. For such an organization, I think going forward, our programs and projects have to be bigger, bolder, and better than what we've done earlier. Our programs can even be not only life-changing, but they can play a role in nation building. Now you may say that's a big statement, but yes, it is. And we can do that. We have shown an example like that when Nigeria got polio free. I think we played a role in that country. Similarly, we played a role in the entire world. I'm talking of changing the education system in a country, maybe the water system in a country. So Rotarians have been working and will keep working on the hand wash project in Haiti. And soon the same program can be replicated in other parts of Africa where there is shortage of water. Back home in India, we have been bringing technology in the field of education where people in rural areas where the teachers were not so good in comparison to the urban swanky schools, well, we've taken the same curriculum and now converted that into world-class audiovisual system. The children in the villages now have a better system of learning, despite the teacher being average, and their comprehension is better, their retention is better, they are enjoying their classes, and now we are doing it, and 100 million children every day are accessing this curriculum that we have presented. Isn't that playing a role in the nation building process of changing the education system in a country? And that to a country as large as India. If you wanted, you could do the same thing in an African country. Small country, take one country, maybe work there for 5 years, 10, 20 clubs together, 2 districts coming together, pooling up, maybe 5 global grants each year. And I can assure you, you will make a change in their lives. Not only in their lives, but change in the country itself. Friends, even as we keep doing that, let during the next year, our overarching theme be empowering girls. Even in today's time and age, unfortunately so, but the girls are discriminated against or are disadvantaged across the world. We need to change that. And I'm sure each of us can play a bit of a role in trying to do that. Let's do our role. We can stop them from dropping out of their classes. We can provide scholarships to girls. We can skill them. We can help them in menstrual hygiene management. We can ensure that we give them things which will motivate them to be in the education system. There is so much that we can do for empowering the girls. Let's do for the need of the hour and the need of the geographical area where we are in. Friends, each of us has a role to play. Let me end with what I had penned for the theme during my year, and I presented this at the International Assembly, and it goes like this. The biggest gift we are given is the power to touch a life, to change, to make a difference in the circle of life. If we can reach out with our hand, heart, and soul, the magic will begin to happen as the wheel begins to roll. Let's turn the wheel together so all humanity thrives. We have the power and the magic to serve, to change lives. Thank you.
Wow, thank you, RI President Shekhar Mehta, for that inspiring message. It's clear that Rotary's future success depends on its ability to adapt and evolve with the times, to join global clubs, to have diverse membership, hybrid meetings, cause-based clubs, affordable meetings, and that clearly is going to be the direction that we're going to go for future success for our Rotary clubs. So President-elect Mehta, I wonder if I met you when I visited many Calcutta Rotary clubs as a member of a group study exchange team from what was then District 561 to District 329 back in 1989. We were introduced to so many incredible life-changing Rotary projects, including providing funds for clean water in some rural areas of Calcutta. And we even met Mother Teresa at her orphanage in Calcutta. Do you remember that?
I used to be quite active with group study exchange, and I must have met you. I won't remember you, but next time I meet you, I'll remember you.
I will remember you as well. So that was a life-changing experience for me as a member, a team member. I later became a team leader of a group study exchange to France. And so all of this changed my Rotary life. In fact, the exchange to India was my introduction to Rotary and how I became inspired to become a Rotarian in 1989. So we have set aside—
You loved it?
Pardon?
You loved it? You loved that somebody asked you to become a Rotarian?
Yes. Yes.
So next year, do that to someone else, okay?
Okay. All right. I promise.
That's good.
We have set aside about 30 minutes for a question and answer session with President-elect Shekhar. So this is your opportunity to ask questions of the person who is going to lead RI this next Rotary year. So who would like to start us off? How about Eric Weiler?
Sure, yep.
All right, well, Eric, thank you.
Yeah, well, yep, great to be here this morning. I'm Eric Weiler, President-elect of the Iowa City Noon Rotary Club. Shekhar, thank you so much for your great inspirational leadership of Rotary. I know increasing membership is a primary goal for you, and when we have more members, we can do more good in the world. My question this morning, and you've already touched on some of this, is we know throughout America, membership, not just in Rotary, but service clubs in general, has been steadily declining. What are some strategic ways that we can look to recruit more Rotarians and build and strengthen our membership?
So Eric, I said, if you look at the entire picture, it's a problem. But if we look at what each one of us can do, it's very simple. All I'm asking Eric or Ginger is to get one member. And I'm sure you can find one member. And even if only half of us did, even 1/3 of us succeeded, we'll be able to cross that mile. Probably we always took membership as a collective goal. I feel it's an individual goal. It's an individual responsibility. The sum total of it is going to take us to 1.3. If we try to reach 1.3, I don't think we'll be able to reach it. But if we tried one person only to bring one more member, I'm sure we'll be able to reach that.
Excellent. Thank you, Eric Weiler, for that question. Eric's from the Iowa City Noon Rotary Club. Thank you. And next we have a question from H.R. Cook from Dubuque, Iowa. H.R.
Yes, thank you. I'm president-elect for the Dubuque, Iowa Rotary Club in East Iowa. My question is regarding to Rotary and our elimination of polio, which we've done an absolutely fantastic job with. How has Rotary and how can Rotary get involved with the COVID-19 vaccination? Because it too is a worldwide vaccination effort, similar to what Rotary and all of our former partners have done with polio. And we've done a remarkable job, and we have the infrastructure and the know-how to bring in other partners and apply our talents around the world. So what is Rotary doing? What can we do on a local level? And what is the future for Rotary in the COVID-19 world?
Okay, so if I was late a minute in joining in this meeting, it was because I was at the COVID task force meeting. So I've just come from that meeting, and we've been discussing each time we meet, and it's a high-powered task force. We have the president, president-elect, president nominee, the chairman of Rotary Foundation, the incoming two chairs. They are all part of that task force. And you know what we realize is that as far as funding or raising funds for COVID is concerned, right now the trustees have taken a decision that they do not want to do that because they want to focus and they don't want to remove their eyes from the $50 million that they need to raise for polio. Because this $50 million is going to be matched by Bill and Melinda Gates by $100 million, and that's $150 million. So crucial that is required for our polio efforts. And you'll appreciate for 35 years we've been there, and we are now this close, and we would not want to polio to be coming back to any other country. So because we are focusing there, we said we would want to concentrate. We do not want Rotarians to divert their funding or their mind as far as funding for polio is concerned. Yet we understand we are going through the biggest pandemic, biggest disaster of our lives, and we need to do something. So we've requested every Rotary club around the world to please get in touch with your local government and ask what is it that we can do. So different parts of the world, different people are trying to do different things. There are, again, I would say two types of situations. One where the government is taking care of everything. This may be the first world, but in the third world, the vaccine hasn't even arrived as yet. It is about to arrive. Once the vaccine starts coming there, there may be some funding issues as far as vaccine to be coming there. Secondly, there may be issues of distribution because they may not have the wherewithal of distribution of the vaccine in this third world. That's where we may be able to help. Maybe partnership with those Rotarians from that country, help them in whatever way we can. And also we can take satisfaction in the fact that they will be able to do the work of vaccination because of the legacy that we have left, because of the infrastructure we developed for polio. So we have done a long-term sustainable job already. we have a role to play, but I think it's more a regional, a local role. I'll just give you an example. Chairman Ravindran, he was just mentioning that last week on the Sunday, he was at a vaccination center for 4 hours, and he was trying to do different things at that vaccination center. Similarly, in my country, down south in Madras, the government has asked the Rotary Club of Madras to come and help them in the vaccination process. So locally, if the government is asking you, there is a lot that can be done. And I think that's where we need to start. Hands-on, that's what we did for polio also, apart from advocacy, of course.
Thank you.
And there was a follow-up to that in response to HR's question about that. Our IC area presidents of Rotary Group contacted our county health department as well as medical staff and UIHC to let them know Rotarians in the area are available to help with immunization if needed. At least they are aware and will get the word out to the other vaccination organizations. So thank you for that.
Absolutely. That's just the right approach, I would say. We need to tell them we are there to help out. Now, polio was a different matter. You know, here, everyone is wanting to get vaccinated. There is less vaccine, more demand initially. Those who are hesitant in taking vaccines, despite them, there is more vaccine available in some countries, whereas there are other countries where the vaccine hasn't gone. In case of polio, we had to request people. There was hesitancy also. There was an issue where we had to go and try and vaccinate people. Here, it is a little different. There is more need because it's been a huge, huge pandemic. Many, many more people have died and people want to get themselves vaccinated.
All right, thank you. John Kuhl, President-elect of a Rotary Club in District 6000 has a question. John.
Thank you. Can you hear me? Great. It's a pleasure to speak with you. Thank you so much for speaking with our group. My question is COVID related as well, but it really is focused on the impact of COVID on clubs and their club functioning. You know, you talked a little bit about this, how clubs can meet virtually, but the reality is that while some club members adapt easily to virtual meetings, many others, frankly, in our area are holding out to return to in-person club activities. And the members draw inherent value from socializing, celebrating, networking, and serving together in person. And the clubs really desperately need encouragement and guidance on how and when to return to in-person functionality. It's simply not good enough to tell each club, figure it out for yourself, which is sort of the message that at least I've seen so far. So what is Rotary International doing now and during your year as RI president to lead districts and clubs as we emerge from the pandemic and guide us to a resumption of in-person activities?
So I'm keeping my fingers crossed. The first opportunity that we can meet in person, I would like to meet in person. We've already started in India because our cases have gone down. I'm attending in-person meetings. I'm going to even large meetings. Our vaccination process has been outstanding, absolutely one of the best around the world. In fact, we've been able to give vaccines to 20 different countries who are unable to buy vaccines. We've gifted vaccines to them. So as far as vaccination is concerned, as far as COVID is concerned, we are in a bit of a comfortable position. So clubs started meeting. But again, in 1 or 2 states, because it became a little lenient, cases have started rising. It's a ever-changing situation. So, and it's so different in different parts of the world. Taiwan has not had a case. They've till now had only 7 cases. Now, they are all meeting in person. In Korea, they are meeting in person. In Japan, they are meeting in person. But you cannot say the same thing about Germany or the US. So it is best left according to local laws. If the government in your county says, okay, now you can meet in person and there are certain regulations, you can meet according to that. In Germany, for example, there are rules which the government has said, this is how you can meet people. So from one household, you can meet only 2 more people from another household. And this keeps changing. So it's very difficult for Rotary International to thrust one idea for the entire world that this is what you could do. So John, we will have to unfortunately figure out ourselves what is best. And again, you may want to meet in person. There may be some elderly people who have comorbidities also. they would not want to take that risk. So it depends also on an individual situation, and we should respect that. Yes, the impact of it on clubs, I can understand. There are clubs who are meeting, I would say about 85 to 90% clubs are meeting virtually, but there is still that 10% clubs which are not. And John, it's very important that we encourage those clubs to meet in person. I was encourage the governors elect on every club president, please go back to your club. If your club is not meeting in person and neither meeting virtually, then I look at trouble coming as far as membership retention is concerned. Without engagement, Rotarians don't want to be in Rotary. They don't want to pay dues and not be engaged. And if they cannot engage virtually, so my suggestion would be, if they are unable to organize virtual meetings, how about me as a president asking 5 other clubs, or I am the assistant governor or the incoming governor or the governor, I organize a meeting of 5 of those clubs together and help them come onto the virtual world and let them taste the success of the virtual world. That's the best thing that we can do. And yet, you know, there'll be some slips through the cracks. There would be, unfortunately.
Thank you for that answer. Tim Dietz has a question. First, thank you, President-elect Mehta, for your inspiration, he says. What is our overall retention of new members?
So our biggest turnover is within the first 2 years. The new members, they often leave leave within the first 2 years than they leave later on. In fact, there is a graph which shows how the membership trends have been, which I cannot, I can only share it with you. If you send me an email, I'll share it with you, which will show what our retention has been. Now, and the number is pretty high, let me tell you, of the people who leave. I don't remember the percentage, but it's pretty high. Too many members leave. If only we could keep them engaged, I think that would be very good. Often people say, have exit interviews. I would say, how about having entry interviews? So let me understand, he or she is a customer for my club. What are they looking for? Is my club able to deliver that? If not, how about recommending that person to another Rotary club? Or at least telling, sorry, we don't do that. Maybe sometime in future. I would rather say no than get that person and that person leaves not very happy in just 2 years' time or 1 year's time.
All right, thank you very much. We have a question from Chris Maxwell. First, he says he loves your passion and big vision for Rotary. Thank you for your leadership. Quick question again on membership recruitment. Can you talk more about where and how Rotary clubs across the world are bringing more Gen Xers and millennials into clubs? And do you have any best practices or suggestions you might share?
So I would say South Asia is one place where there are a lot of Gen X coming into Rotary. I see more younger people coming in India in Rotary than elderly people. And that's a great sign. I find lots of Rotaractors. We have the highest number of Rotaractors in the world also. And I find so many Rotaractors becoming Rotarians. And the fact that we have elevated Rotaract, that also is going to help tremendously transition of Rotaractors to Rotary. Some of the best practices, well, I would say the virtual world is providing us one of the best opportunities of engaging young people. As I said, for young people, timing is a big issue. Cost is the next issue. Both of these could be taken care of. The costs become much lesser because there are no meals, no travel to do to your meeting. And as far as time is concerned, it saves so much of your commute time. You are sitting in your pajamas. All you need is up to here. You should be fine. And you are attending a meeting. And even while the meeting is going on, you can mute yourself. You can put off your video, take care of your young kid, and come back in 5 minutes' time. These are great advantages for attracting younger people.
Very good. Thank you so much. We have a question from Aaron Fulton. With less than 500 cases of polio worldwide in 2020, what is Rotary's next large initiative as an organization?
right now, the biggest program we have and will have will be polio eradication. We have to ensure that the last case goes. And let me also tell you, even after the last case has gone, we will have to wait for 3 years to be declared polio free. And then the entire world will take another year or two for the world to be declared polio free, which means even if today was the last case that we ever had of polio around the world, we would need 4 to 5 years for the entire world to be declared as polio free. Until we have done that, I don't think we are in a position to even think of another project. At the same time, we are doing a great job with our peace centers. We've come up with 1,400 peace warriors across the world. I mean, that's amazing, absolutely. And the global grants that we do in the 7 areas of focus, with environment now coming, there's going to be great enthusiasm in environmental projects. So there is lots that we can do now. Just very recently, we did a program of scale where $2 million were granted for a malaria program in, I think it was Honduras. Where is it? I'm forgetting the name of the country, or Rwanda. One of the two. I'm just missing on the name. Now, we provided 2 million, whereas there has been a match of 4 million more. It's become a $6 million project. Not bad. And this is going to happen every year.
All right, thank you. Thank you very much. We have about 10 minutes left, and we have a comment from Alka who mentioned, and this goes back to the assistance with COVID vaccination. She said United Way in some areas has reached out to Rotary clubs to volunteer time to help with local healthcare places. So that's also some good advice.
Great. So I would request all such matters be shared with Rotary International. It's important, and please share it on the social media extensively so that others also feel that Rotarians are doing something and they feel nice about it. It's not just me that I have to do something. I'll feel great even if I come to know that Ginger is doing something.
So what you're saying is that if we share this on our Rotary Club social media pages, that will be enough to get out to the other clubs about these ideas?
Yes, individually also. Why not? I mean, you'll have a Facebook page. Why not post it on that? It's a good thing, good deed that you are sharing with others. I don't always share my projects or where I'm involved. I share projects from your club, any other club around the world.
Great idea. Thank you. So a question from Ryan Bell. He's curious about clubs that Mr. Mehta has seen having success with hybrid meetings. It seems to be a large technical challenge unless the meeting is in an amphitheater or perfect space for broadcasting quality sound and video.
So it's a new concept. Yes, I agree. So there are 2 ways you can have a hybrid club. You can have 2 meetings virtually and 2 meetings in person. That's a hybrid way. The other hybrid is every meeting is a hybrid meeting. And yes, I agree. There will be some technology that's needed. You'll need probably a tripod and a camera, and you'll need somebody who's operating the camera because you need to move from the president to the secretary to the speaker to the audience. And there'll have to be a large screen, this to be connected to that large screen so that the person speaking can see who are the other people who are joining, etc. A bit of an investment at the beginning, not too expensive, but a time technology investment that needs to be done. Once done, it's good for every meeting. And of course, you'll need good internet connection.
Perfect. Thank you. We have a question. How do you engage and motivate longtime Rotarians who have the attitude that I've been there and I've done that?
So, I've been working on this, let's say the heart surgeries program now for 15 years. But just last month, 3 children from Afghanistan came for getting their heart surgeries done by my Rotary Club. These children were 8 months, 10 months, and 3 years old. And when I came to know, I was excited, even after 35 years, about to become the president of the organization. Yet I'm excited. That's because it's the feeling of goodness that you get when you do a thing like that. So it's very important. And this is a message I want to leave. Ginger, in your area, for all the 265 people that I see here, you don't have so many needs as in my area. So when there are larger needs, there are larger opportunities of service. You do not have so many needs. So how about making the world to be your area? Why not do projects outside your country? And then don't just write checks. I'm telling you something to do. And all people who are less interested, who feel been there, done that, they'll feel no, there is a lot to do. For example, if you were to sink bore wells in Zambia, in a village in Zambia, which there is parched land, there is no water, you sink 10 bore wells there, and then you organize a meeting with those Rotarians that they will show you those bore wells and the water gushing out of that, and those children happy on a virtual meeting where all your club members are present at this end. They will love it. They'll have goosebumps.
And then it's not
They'll
such a,
realize they haven't done this earlier.
well, and then it's not such an abstract concept, so that we can then actually see how our help is helping other people.
Yes, absolutely. And your meeting suddenly can become so vibrant. Imagine now your club doing heart surgeries for children in Nepal. Imagine 20 children whose heart surgeries have been done. They are there and they're talking to your club members. I mean, they'll be engaged. They'll love it, absolutely.
That's excellent. Okay, we have about 7 minutes left and we have 3 questions to get through. With the environment being added as an area of focus, what are your thoughts on how to promote environmentalism in and through Rotary?
Find the need and fulfill the need. The first need, for example, is if you can plant a tree, why not? I mean, wherever in the world, planting a tree doesn't harm anyone. So one of the districts, my neighboring district, said, we are going to plant 1.2 million trees during this year, one for every Rotarian around the world. So Ginger, there is one tree in your name near where the city that I live in. The others wanted, they liked this idea. They said, okay, we too are going to do that. So they just started planting trees as the easiest thing that they could do. Next, you could work on alternate energy, for example, solar lights. There are still villages in Africa and South Asia where there is no electricity. Maybe you want to brighten up, light up 1,000 homes by just providing a solar lantern there, which costs you what? Which costs you not even $20, $15, and you light up a home, and for good. So there are various things that you could do. These are small things. Say no to plastic. Asking, for example, reusable sanitary pads to be used by girls and women. That again is a good thing to do. So various things. Find the need in your area, how it can help as far as protecting the environment is concerned.
Thank you. We have a question from Alka Khanolkar. We have many Rotaractors joining our pets, and they're very proud of them for doing that. What is your message for Rotaractors and for the future of Rotary with Rotaractors?
So to me, one of the best decisions we have taken in recent times is Elevate Rotaract. The fact that Rotaract is now a type of membership and not just a program of Rotary, to me, that's one of the best things that has happened for a long time and for a long time. It's something that's so sustainable. It is going to have far-reaching effects in the future, both for Rotaract as well as Rotary. Rotaract is going to benefit because suddenly their position has been elevated. When they start paying dues, they'll be considered as members, so many members in the Rotary family. I see a day, not in distant future, where the Rotaract membership numbers will be combined as the joint membership numbers for Rotary International itself. And so soon, after they start paying their dues, they'll be able to apply for global grants. When they do global grants, their area of work becomes wider. They start participating in the 7 areas of focus. And I would leave the same message for them. Each one bring one, and each of you dream big, try to do big things. For Rotarians, please give the same respect to the Rotaractors as you would give to another Rotarian. They are not just our hands and feet on the ground, they are also our mind now.
Thank you. We have 3 minutes left, and I'm sorry that we're not going to be able to get to all of the questions, but the last two involve advice.
Okay, I'll give short answers.
Okay, thank you. What is the best piece of advice someone gave you when you became club president?
I don't remember who gave that advice, but I soon learned that I'm a volunteer. Who's a volunteer? Somebody who says, yes, I want to do. So I took one lesson. I have never, ever said no to anything that was asked of me in Rotary. And that's the best advice I can give to anyone.
Wow, that's awesome. And then finally, from Todd Thompson, if you had one thing to tell a new president-elect, what would it be?
Dream big and don't be afraid of doing that. A ship is safe in the harbor, but that's not what ships are meant for. You need to go into the high seas, take risk. Life, my dear presidents-elect, you are the change makers. Life is about adventure, not about maintenance.
Thank you so very much. Our sincere thanks for joining us this morning, and hope you're having a great evening there in Calcutta, India. Thank you, President-elect Mehta. Thank you for all of the participants for joining us for this morning's session.